Right, starting on the Buick block, first thing we've got to do is put new cam bearings in because they're shot. So you have what's called a cam bearing installation tool, which is this. So that is expandable. That's your new cam bearing, yeah?
Yeah.
And basically you just do that nice and tight so it's forcing against it. Now, if you look in here, see that hole? Okay, that's your oil feed into the camshaft. Now that, I've marked it there, look. Just, you get oil pressure fed into the crankshaft, goes round the crankshaft bearing and goes down that hole there to there. You see it? Come out the bottom?
Yeah.
So we know that that's our line where you've got to put the cam bearing into because of the hole in the cam bearing.
Okay.
Has to line up, yeah? So the way this works is, you've got your cam bearing on there, you put it in the hole. I've done two already. It's got a lead in, see that tapered edge? It's a lead in, yeah? You start that in the hole. And you want to line that line up with that line so you know your oil hole's in line, yeah?
Sure, okay.
Okay? And it's about as basic as getting a big hammer and smacking it. So you hold that taper in there to centralise your rod, yeah? Like so. Okay? And then you literally just... Oh, that's not going in right. Let's see if it'll go. No, that's not right. So we've got to take that one out again.
What would be the reason for that then?
Getting the end set up right. So before you go any further, undo it, try and get it out. I tried to get it on the next size up, but I think I'm going to have to go down a size on it.
When you're referring to size, what do you mean?
On the rubber that holds that cam bearing, so it's smudged the edge of that, it's gone in pissed. But we can cure that. Get all of that out of there. Right, okay. Make sure there's no damage to the inside. That's all alright. Yeah, if you're ever doing these and you feel like it's going wrong, don't just keep it in it, because it won't. The cam just won't go in.
So when you're saying it's too tight, where is it too tight?
It's gone in, instead of going in square, it's gone in like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's picked up an edge on there, so you just take your edge back off. Right, that's that cleaned up. So you make sure, it shouldn't have done anything to the cast iron, but make sure there's no lip there. Right, that's fine. So what we'll do is go down a size on the thingamajigamy and see if we can get another rubber on, maybe. He goes on there. There's quite a lot to do up, you see. So that feeds that way. Nice and square all the way round. Our taper in. Little touch more. Right, that's good.
Nice and snug.
Yeah, but you know, if you've got any pickup, I mean, that might now, when you put the cam in, because it went in first a little bit pissed,
Yeah.
it might have put a slight oval on it or something, but till you get the camshaft in, you don't know. But they're nice and soft, the Babbitt material, so. Right, so now we've got, they get progressively bigger to the front, yeah?
Yeah.
Back of a camshaft's always smaller than the front. I'm not quite sure, because this has got a lead in that way. It'd be better if it had a lead in that way.
What was that?
Well, because you're not sure realistically whether that's going in square or not. See, but you can't turn it round because that hole isn't in the middle of that area.
Yeah.
So that won't work. Oh, I don't know. It's not quite in the middle. Yeah, you've got to be careful with that. There's a bloody great big hole there. I think we'll turn it round. I think you can always put a drill down it. I don't want to try and just bash that in the end because it will go wrong. Because there's nothing to stop you, because I've taken the plug out that end, you can shove the bar up that end.
Okay.
Right, let's put all this away. Right, first thing we want to check is that we haven't picked up any lips the way they've been banged in. No, that's all right. Okay, then we'll give them a squirt and make sure it's getting fluids through so the oil, we know the oil holes are lined up. Plenty of oil there, yeah? Plenty of oil there. Plenty of oil there.
Awesome.
Right, so we know all our holes are lined up. There's a cursory check. So now we'll temporarily put the camshaft in and see if it binds, where it binds. I'll be very surprised if it doesn't. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing is smacking a bearing in a hole with a big hammer, so there isn't exactly anything delicate about it. Right. So, this is your £50 camshaft. And you have to be very careful putting them in, or try to be, that you don't catch any of the Babbitt bearings on these lobes, but when it weighs as much as this, it's virtually impossible. Right, that's dry. So it goes in the hole. Let's give it a couple of spins. Well, that ain't bad at all.
What are you listening for? Any grinding?
Yeah, it's got a slight, something's rubbing somewhere, but by turning it, because it's a soft Babbitt material, take the cam back out and you should be able to see where it's picking up.
Okay, yeah.
And you use your bearing scraper just to take a little, but that is dry, to be fair. That's a don't put anything on the edge of the table. So we're all good there. Okay, right, you've got a bit of pick up there, let's see. None of this is perfect, do you know what I mean? It's all worn as such, but you've got to try and make the best of what you've got, obviously. You know, this is never ever going to be like a blueprinted engine. You just can't do it unless you have every single surface remachined. Because these are as soft as anything. So anything we think you've got a high spot.
Is that like just like a very sharp or it's a razor blade or? Yeah,
it's called a bearing scraper. That's what it's for. Yeah.
And that's just taking off any slight.
Just any slight high spot.
Okay.
Oil is your friend. Okay, we're in. So let's get out the spanner, see how she feels. That's fine, there's nothing tight on that. That's nice. Right, some cam lube. Do it now before you put anything else in there and it doesn't get in the way. Horrible, greasy, carcinogenic, horrible, horrible stuff. Cam lube, it just sticks to all the lobes and everything, and then when it gets hot the oil will break it down. Right, that's all that done. So basically you have to get all that in before you can put your crankshaft in, yeah?
Yeah.
Because obviously once all that crank's in there, that's just a complete ball ache to get to.
Yeah.
So we know it's all shimmered up as it needs to be because it's all been together before. But what we got to do is put our rope oil seal in the back of the crankshaft. Right, so your rope seal is the outer one. Make sure your bearing surfaces are clean. These can only go in one way, obviously, like your oil hole lines up with your oil hole.
Okay, yeah.
And you've got a tab that holds it there, so put them in there, push them down into there. Okay, that's all you need. If they're a little bit tight, you can just tap the edge of them with a hammer, but it's better if you can just push them in by hand.
Did they click into place or they just...
No, they just slide around, and when your cap goes on they centralise, yeah?
Okay.
Centre one's normally a bit tight because it's what you call your end thrust bearing, so instead of just a rotary pace there, you've got end thrust as well.
Okay.
So you might have to just tap these on. Yep, you'll need a little tap. Right, so there's your two new rope seals.
What's a rope seal?
Well, modern engines have what you call a one-piece rear oil seal, like a plastic one, but they weren't around back in the day, so you have this, which is a rope seal, graphited rope. They used to be just rope soaked in oil. So that goes in there like that. And what you need to do, you get a big socket, force that seal down in there, yeah? It's a nice smudge on it. Force right in there if you can. Which will tighten it up, but once it's compressed it'll all go back in, yeah? Okay, so that's that. And what you do is you get a kit. They're very kind, they give you a nice sharp new knife and a bit of wood to stop you cutting your thumb off. So he goes on there. So that's your height you want to cut it off at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You put that there. Okay, so that's your height you want just left out the top.
Yeah. Very good.
So that's that one in there. So now we put the other one in the block. Oil on the end of the rope. Hold on. You okay?
Mm-hmm. Good?
Yeah. You good?
Yep.
Sweet. Now we put our caps on.
They're all different, aren't they?
Yes, all very slightly different, but they've all got an arrow on them.
Okay.
Would you like us to work on your bike or car? Contact us today. Either telephone Stuart on 07887 794928 or email Stuart at RiE-Store.com. For more information on all our services, including our training course or on-site motorcycle ramp hire, please visit RiE-Store.com.
So how tight are you doing these up?
Just snugging them down at the moment. You just check it every time for rotational. Right. That's just the tightness on the oil seal, there's nothing wrong with that.
So how tight is too tight?
If you couldn't turn it with that ratchet, then the 41 Buick when we did it, I couldn't turn it over.
Right.
But I knew everything was right. So yeah, they just get tighter and the more drag and everything you put in them, piston rings, you know, blah blah blah. But that's, if you can turn it with a torque wrench, then you're okay. That's not. And once it started flowing, you got that initial break, yeah,
yeah,
and then it's just the same smoothness all the way around. So that's fine. So now we'll torque it down. So these should be 90. So we'll give it one go round at 50. Okay.
So you started in the middle, any reason for that?
That's just the way I work. Just one, start in the middle, that one, that one, that one, that one, well, you know. It shouldn't realistically make any difference at all. Right, so that's no different at all from how it was when we did it with just nip down, yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes they get better as you tighten them down. So now we'll go up to the full 90. So that's 50 down to that line and I'm on 0. Okay, so we want to go up to 90. 90, so we've just gone past it there. Bang on 90. Right, and we'll check her again. Feels exactly the same. You've got that initial just to break it. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. What I do is just pop the timing chain on. Right, so your camshaft drive goes on there, yeah? This is just a temporary fit at the moment. Okay?
Yeah.
And that is your crank drive. I'll clean it up in a minute. So he goes on there. Okay, so what you normally have on an engine, yeah? To time it up, you've got that 0 there. Normally, on a normal engine build, you put that towards there, and you've got your mark there, yeah?
Yeah.
So then, you line them up, so if you drew a centre line through that bolt and that bolt, your 2 zeros will be in line, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't do that on a Buick, because it don't work. What you do, is you set them to the side, there and there, and I think it's 14 links, you count 14 links on the chain, and then you put it on, which is a really stupid idea.
Is it just on the Buick?
No, quite a few of the older cars did it, I don't know why. And of course the old chains had a nice big mark on them. I can't remember, it's 14 outside or something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so it's 12 then. But we'll double check that in the workshop manual before I put that on.
Yeah.
Because you can mess it right up. So that basically is your cam and chain, crank and chain all in. I've got to take this off now, not that, this, and put the outer mounting engine plate on. The oil gallery hole's got to be filled in before you do any of that, because it has to go on first, yeah? But all in all, that's good. It's come out well.